I made a World Cup trophy ball holder. Here's how you can make yours. So first off, you need to download Bamboo Studio and make an account if you do not have one already. Once you log in, you can go to online models and just type in World Cup. You can choose any model you like. The main difference between the models is that some have a more sculpted, carved look, whereas this one has like a more CAD model look to it. To be fair, the carved ones are closer to the original trophy, but I thought that this one worked better for this use case. Once you click on it, you can find all these print profiles. I just went with the first one. Once you open the file, you will see that it's separated into two parts, the trophy and the base. What you want to do is add 2 more print plates. The reason why is that I always like to keep a clean copy of the original parts. Just makes it much easier to reference them in the future. So now copy and paste the trophy onto plate 3. You can just Control or Command C, Control Command V. From here you need to scale it up to 126.35%. You just gotta trust me on the math here. I did the math by measuring the circumference of a size 1 try-on the football. So everything should work out fine. And you will see here that the trophy went beyond the print bed size, so you will need to cut it by clicking on Cut in the top menu or C on your keyboard. The default cut height is fine, and make sure that Cut to Parts is not selected. For connectors, you can add them if you want to. It kind of helps with aligning the two halves, but it's not necessary. The one I printed did not have any connectors and it worked out fine. Now you can move the top half to print plate 4 and move it to these coordinates on the screen so that everything lines up properly. Then from here you can right click on the part, add primitive and sphere. And we will use the sphere to cut out the earth from the trophy to make out this hollow space that fits the ball. So you need to scale up the sphere to 138.4 millimeters and make sure you have the uniform scale on and move it to these coordinates on the screen. Then you can right click the sphere, click change type, then part. Now select both parts, hit mesh boolean in the top menu or B on your keyboard and click subtraction. What you see here is everything in blue is cut away and the stuff in green is what you get left over. For the leftover parts, you can cut the part the same way we did before at a height of 100 to get rid of the top of the earth, and you can go ahead and delete that part. And this is the final output. You can see there is a tiny bit of earth still left over here. I tried removing it using several methods, but none of them worked quite well. And honestly, as long as you do not have supports enabled, it will be fine. I printed it that way and it turned out perfect. But let me know in the comments if you do find a more elegant solution. Yeah, and that's the top half done. Now for the bottom half, you can copy and paste the base onto plate 3. Merge both parts. This just allows us to move them along the Z-axis. Double click on the base to select it and then move it to these coordinates on the screen and scale it to 140.3%. Again, make sure you got your uniform scale checked. For the bottom half of the trophy, do not mess around with the scale so that it stays aligned with the other half, but you can move it to these coordinates on the screen. To be honest, you can play around with the size and position of the base as much as you like. It's not very sensitive. You just kind of want it to look proportional. The coordinates I showed are the ones that I used. And then the last step before we are done is to double check that ironing is on, because it does make a big difference in the quality of the print and kind of reduces the post-processing time. If you do not have a 3D printer, you could either ask a friend, just Google local 3D printers near me, or you could actually check your local library, because many libraries do have free 3D printers to use. You typically just pay for the filament, which is not terrible. Or worst case scenario, there are websites that could 3D print parts and ship them to you, like Xometry. But in my experience, they tend to be slightly more expensive than local 3D printers. But this is it for this tutorial. Drop any questions you have in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. I'll talk to you all in a bit.